Okay, guys, let's talk about this. So, what is choice? What is real choice? We talk about whether we're pro life or pro choice. What exactly is a choice for a woman? Because I think a lot of times in these pro life circles, we hear women chose an abortion, you got to take responsibility for your actions and ask God to forgive you, etc. I don't think we're having a big enough conversation. Um, what is choice? A lot of women really are not choosing in their mind at the time what they really want. Like, okay, so how can it be real choice? How can it be? A lot of women are acting out of fear. They are acting out of who knows what it is. When you're coerced, like I was, there's not much of a choice within that choice. So all I heard for years, like a couple times I had talked, like once I had my baby, I had tried to talk to my mother and said, that was a baby or that was murder. I said to someone in my family, and all I got both times was, you were too young. And it's not that I was too young, it's that responsibility for me was not taken. So, I was a kid, so people have said to me, well, you were a minor. So you didn't have much of a choice. And so when we have these healing classes and we're hearing people say, oh, well, you couldn't have been forced unless it was, sex trafficking. That is not the truth. Yes, you can be forced. We have a lot of girls I've seen on the sidewalks. I've seen mothers bringing their girls in. So we have these mothers who are saying, my daughter gets pregnant. She's having an abortion, period. And they will say, you are having an abortion. And it's used as a discipline. It's not used as it's not used, it's not really reality. It's not thinking of like, oh, wait a minute, there's another baby. There's a baby, there's another human is what I meant to say. It's just, oh, you get pregnant, you're having an abortion. So abortion can be used as a weapon to discipline a girl, to teach her not to do it again. And I had a mother-in-law who was like, oh, well, at least you learned, it'll help you learn. It's like, what the heck did I learn? Nothing. As a matter of fact, when my mother brought me back to the clinic, I guess they checked just to make sure there was no tissues left in my womb. And, there was no conversation really. I just barely remember the doctor saying something like, I think something like she's going to have cramps or something. Cramps are normal. And I was put on the pill. I literally, there was no conversation, just put me on the pill. And so a girl is not learning to, chastity. She's not learning anything. I mean, I didn't have any formation about chastity or waiting for that special guy or, wanting to be married. There was nothing there about, waiting for that time. That should, be protected. It should be treasured. It should be, valued. There was nothing like that. It was just kind of survival mode. Just, you know, um, that's it. So when we have girls who are being coerced into it because, for a million reasons, there's not much of a choice. So when you are asking women to take responsibility for a choice that they didn't really have, it's not really going to help woman heal. And we talk about people helping people, and a lot of times, in the pro-life movement, we're not really helping women. Another example of this is, I would recommend, do not heal on your own. Do not heal on your own. Because when things come up, which they will, even after a post-abortive class, you are going to feel like crap, basically. And if you don't have a support system and churches and people in your life who can help you along, you're going to be suicidal. So when we say these things to people and we say, oh, even in the church, and I hate to say it, but it's true, even in the church, we have not understood how to deal with this issue well. When you have people saying, oh, you made a choice and it's your fault when you were coerced, you're putting another burden on women. You are burdening them even more. You are not helping them. So a lot of help out there really isn't help. And you are putting more shame or guilt on them because they can't take responsibility for something that they didn't do. Like I said to somebody, I said, tell me where I chose. Tell me where. Tell me where so I can ask God to forgive me. And there wasn't much of a choice there for me at all. Like I said, I was in trouble because I was pregnant. And that's how it was all presented, how it was approached, that you're in trouble, you're in big trouble. I was shamed, and I have no idea why, because it's not like they didn't know that I was, you know, in a car alone with my boyfriend, or that I was at his house alone, or, there was no standard that I should not be having sex. So when I got pregnant, it was okay to have sex, but it was not okay to be pregnant. So that's a real catch 22. That's a no-win situation. So where was my choice? I don't know. There really wasn't much of a choice. My parents already pretty much had made up their mind that I was too young. Done deal. So when you're trying to heal, what you really want to heal from is, like I said, those relationships that have broken trust, relationships that have used you and have coerced you and have wanted to save face. Once you get through that, you look at toxic motherhood, you look at even the stuff your mother went through with her mother, and to be able to look at that, then you can heal, because that's where more of the healing is needed for someone who hasn't really had a choice. It's not even so much the abortion, it's the healing from the bad relationships. So I'm able to say now, and this is like 30 something years after, that the truth is, and this is where you need to surround yourself with people who do understand the truth. The truth is, you didn't take responsibility for me. You did not care enough to care about me. You didn't care enough to care about my child. That's the truth. And don't sugarcoat it. It's just the truth. And if there's any sense of trying to save me from myself, like my father being like, okay, she's too young or whatever, there, that's still not a not valid, because when you're not having a conversation with your daughter to say, how do you feel about this? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about being pregnant. Let's talk about what your thoughts are. Do you want to stay with this guy? Do you think marriage? Maybe marriage is in the works. There's no conversation. It's really not helping. Maybe they tried, but it's not helping. So parents who want to help their daughters out of a situation, maybe, but I think it's more safe face. For me, it was hush hush, let's not talk about it. My father had said to my brother, right after the abortion, I felt betrayed again. He said, your sister had an abortion, keep your mouth shut. So it was really a hush hush thing. And now I use that abortion to tell the whole world what it looks like for girls who have been coerced. I don't think we understand the situation enough. We just shame girls, and there's a side that will shame girls and say, oh, look at what you've done. You chose to kill your baby. You're evil, without understanding her situation. And we need to understand what girls are going through, where their fears are. Are they being pressured? Most women have been pressured. Most have a boyfriend or family member who wanted them to abort and did not really give them options. And then when you get to a doctor's office, as I did, or an abortion clinic, you're being told lies. So at the doctor's office, I wasn't told anything. My mother just handed me the piece of paper and said, sign it, don't even read it. So as somebody with my boundaries pretty much already down for some reason, and I felt like I had to please my parents all the time, and or else condemnation, right? Or criticism. you kind of felt like you didn't have much of a choice to say. I mean, like somebody said to me, you should have told your parents no. There was no way I could have told my parents no. I mean, I think my father would have kicked me out if I had this baby. And looking back, that would have been okay, I think. Looking back, I would have been fine. Because I know myself and I know I would have made it either way, just like I made it now. Someone said to me, you could have taken care of yourself back then. Just because I went through some hard times, you know, we went through some hard financial times raising my kids. That's not true. Finances come and go. So I've gone through something recently where I lost my home, I lost my car, I lost a job, I lost my husband, and I'm still making it because you know how. That's where it comes from. You know how. And so it's the mindset. Like I did a video on this. It's knowing how to take care of yourself when life throws you a bunch of things. I did meet a real estate agent who was telling me that all at once she lost her husband, she lost her home. It happens. It's common. It does happen to people. So don't feel that you can't take care of yourself. I think if I would have been kicked out, I would have taken care of myself. But there were other options. There was, you know, child support from him, and I don't even think I would have had to go through the court. I think he would have freely taken care of that child, and I think he wanted it, but again, his parents did not want this for him. This was in Pittsfield, New Hampshire. His father was a fire chief, so they didn't want to look bad. And I did see his parents one day in Walmart, and his mother kind of like hid like her husband away from me. I don't think she wanted him to see me. So this is still in the dark, and this is why I talk about it, because it's a calling on my life to talk about girls who have no voice, and you know, you're sacrificed on the table along with your baby for the sake of saving face. And that's what I got for now, guys.